Good morning, everyone, and welcome to my webinar called Build the Business You Dream About. A few housekeeping rules before we get started. This webinar is going to last about 45 minutes, and that'll include about 5-10 minutes that we'll leave for questions at the end. We'll be recording today's event, but only me and my presentation will be visible. If you'd like to ask a question at any time, please write it in the chat. I've got it right here in front of you, and I will answer it when we arrive at the Q&A. If at any time during the event there's a technical difficulty, the internet goes out or the screen freezes, whatever should happen, please stay online and we will sign back as soon as possible. A few words of introduction about myself. My name is Zoltan Vardy. I'm a global business development advisor, speaker, and writer who focuses on helping entrepreneurs just like you to find their focus and accelerate their business growth. I rely on a business development framework called the Launch Code that I've created, which combines corporate planning methods with entrepreneurial execution to help startup founders and small business owners create a clear path to growth and profits. This unique system and approach sits at the heart of all the things that I do, all the content I produce, all the training, and all the mentoring that I provide for startups and businesses just like yours. I've got a 30-year career, which includes long stretches in senior corporate roles, global and regional, as well as experience as an entrepreneur and an investor in media technology and professional services businesses. But enough about me. I want to talk about you. Today, I want to talk about what you're going to learn from this webinar. First, you're going to learn how to define what success looks like for you. Okay, and that could be very different from person to person. You're going to learn how to measure your progress as you execute a plan. You're going to learn how to stay motivated during the natural ups and downs of trying to build and grow a business. And you're going to learn how to align and inspire your team by having a very clear vision of your business. Now, I hope you're as excited as I am about today, because I truly believe there is no better time in history than right now to launch a new business. I know that we're living in this coronavirus, COVID-driven world, but the reality is the world of startups and small businesses is still growing. The tremendous impact of technology, the opportunity to test out various business models quickly, the ability to sell to clients simultaneously and seamlessly across the entire world, across borders, gives you a better chance of success than ever before. All this means is that you have the opportunity to experience the personal satisfaction and the rewards that come from launching a successful company. And I believe there's truly nothing more amazing than creating something from nothing. And I truly hope that today I will take a little bit of a step towards helping you do just that and to experience the magic. So I've had the pleasure of working with some amazing entrepreneurs, people from all around the world who are hardworking. They're committed to creating what they define as a successful business. But here's what I do when I sit down with an entrepreneur. I ask them to define what a successful business means to them. And most of the time, the question is met with silence, as if they're thinking about a question that nobody's ever thought of before, nobody asked them before. And every once in a while, one of them will break the silence and come up with something like a financial figure, like a profit number or a company value, something that carries a number but no true meaning, or a far-fetched vision that is so theoretical that it's almost impossible to apply it to the day-to-day reality of running a business. Now, what I've learned from these responses is that for many startup founders and small business owners, it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day hassle of building your business and doing what it takes to get by. And you end up working so hard that you forget to take a moment to step back and ask yourself, is all my hard work taking me to where I want to go? And here's the problem. Until you know where you really want to go, not sense, not consider, not think, but really, really know, you can't possibly find the path that will lead you there. So what I want to help you do today is to answer a very fundamental and critical question, which is, where do I want to take my business and why? Now, if you're like me, you probably started dreaming of what your business could become even before you got it off the ground, right? You get excited about the vision and the future and all that stuff. This is fantastic because the ability to dream is not only what makes us human, it actually what separates extraordinary entrepreneurs from those who settle for being good enough. The problem is when you get into the mire of building your business, you sometimes forget to dream. But it's really simple. By defining the business you dream about, you'll be able to identify the actions you need to take to make your dream a reality. It's as simple as that. Now, I want to share with you an example of how I helped a team of founders decide the business they wanted to build and the actions they needed to take to get them there. I began working at the start of the year with a technology startup that's in the business of what's called social media analytics. They basically analyze billions of online conversations in chat rooms and social media, and they use this data to create an idea for big companies of what their customers think about their brand, about their product. So a really interesting business. Now, this company had been in business for nearly 3 years before I started working with them. And even after all this time, it was amazing that the founders had never really taken the time to discuss the type of business they wanted to build. Was it a nimble software as a service business serving thousands of customers, or some sort of high-end consultancy serving premium clients? Was the idea to raise money and exit quickly, or to build a long-term sustainable business? Two very different paths. And because the founders didn't bother to answer these questions, they weren't aligned. So they often argued about the most basic decisions: when to focus on product development, when to focus on sales, when to begin raising their next round of financing. And so there was this general sense of confusion. And then I introduced them to destination planning, which is a practical exercise that takes the ability to dream and puts it into a business context. I call it dreaming with a deadline. And after just a few sessions of using the framework I'm going to show you in a moment, we created a destination for their business that described why they were in this business in the first place and defined what success meant to them individually and as a group. And you know what was amazing? The impact was huge. It made their internal discussions more effective. It helped them focus their product development and sales and marketing activities. It kept them motivated because suddenly they knew what they were fighting for. And more importantly, they went from being constantly stressed out to experience a sense of clarity and comfort about their work. So I have to tell you, having a clear destination is not only healthy for your business, it's healthy for you personally. Now, the process I use to help this company to create a destination is exactly the process I'm going to take you through today. This is a building block, number 4 of the launch code. That's that unique business development framework I talked about that combines corporate style planning with entrepreneurial execution to help you create a clear path to growth and profits. So towards the end of today's webinar, I'm going to present you with a really special opportunity to schedule a free follow-up consultation with me personally, where I will help you create a high impact destination for your business. So stick around. Let's dig a little bit deeper into what exactly is a destination. Very simply put, it's the sum of 2 distinct elements. The first is your greater purpose. Your greater purpose is a deep motivation that goes beyond just earning a profit or getting rich, but is based on a fundamental belief that what you are doing delivers value to others. The second piece is your desired outcome. This is sort of an imaginary snapshot, something that if you would imagine a point in the future, you take a picture of your business, what it would look like, and what you imagine that company to be at a certain time in the future. And I call this combination of a greater purpose and desired outcome a destination on purpose, because building a business, I think, is very much like going on a journey. I mean, think about it. If you're planning a trip, you need to do 2 things. You need to know 2 things, right? Why are you going on this journey? So is it a business trip, a ski vacation, a weekend getaway with your partner? And where do you want to go? You want to go to the Alps? You want to go to a big city? You want to go to the countryside? I mean, if you think about it, if the answer to these 2 questions is either unclear or not aligned, then you could end up packing skis to go to the beach, which wouldn't make much sense, right? So to create a clear destination for your business, you need to know why you are going. That's your greater purpose. And where you want to end up, and that's your desired outcome. Then you can plan your journey easily. Here's another way to look at it. Your destination serves the same purpose that the North Star serves in the lives of sailors who navigate the oceans at night. You know, before there was a compass or GPS, sailors would look at the North Star, sometimes you call it Polaris, as a stable marker in the sky that they would follow during their travels. And they would keep an eye on the North Star, where it was in comparison to the direction they were heading, and it would help them navigate their ships to arrive safely wherever they wanted to go. Your destination is your North Star. It gives you a fixed point for your business you can always keep in mind and make sure you are always headed in the right direction, no matter how choppy the waters become, no matter how much you get stuck in the day-to-day mire of running and building a business. Now, for you to be able to create a destination and to do it more easily, I've created a worksheet for you that will take you step by step through this process of creating the worksheet. So before I get into that, I'd like to ask you to link to click on the link in the chat. Okay, there should be a link there where you can actually download this this worksheet from the internet. You can either put it onto your computer or you can look at it now, or if you don't have time to do it now, that's no worries. You can actually go ahead and download it. So I'm just going to give everybody a couple of minutes to download that. Okay, we've got quite a few people. Yeah, the link is now to the worksheet is there. We've got several hundred people registered from 14 different countries. So I'm just going to give everybody a little bit of time to download this worksheet. And when you look at it, you can look at it on your screen, or you can download it on your computer later. You can also choose to download it after the webinar is over, because we'll have it up there for a little bit, so you can follow on from our conversation today. Okay, so I'm just going to give everybody another about 15 seconds to do that. And then we will get started. Okay, so hopefully you have the worksheet in front of you. If not, just take some notes and you can download it later. So the first question you need to ask yourself, okay, is what is the greater purpose? Okay, what is the reason that you're building your business? So write down in a few sentences why you think what you are doing is going to make a meaningful change to the world and deliver value to others. Okay, now here's the thing. Be careful to articulate a greater purpose that has meaning and relates to the business you're building, okay? Don't fall into the trap that a lot of entrepreneurs fall into, where they try to change the world and come up with oftentimes really ridiculous statements. I've got a great example I want to share with you. There's a guy named Adam Neumann who started a company called WeWork. You might have heard about it. It's basically a co-working office space company. And he defined his greater purpose as WeWork elevates the world's consciousness. I mean, what does that even mean? It sounds to me like something you read in a fortune cookie. Now, the irony here is that some of you may know that WeWork actually managed to really fool investors to invest billions and billions and billions of dollars into this company and valued it at one point at $47 billion. And then one day, a financial analyst on Wall Street started looking into the numbers and basically realized that the business model was a complete scam. And so in a moment's time, the company's valuation plummeted. Adam Neumann, the founder, was fired. And I like this great quote. The analyst who actually did this work and had revealed the reality of the business, and in his imaginary conversation with Adam Neumann said, you know, buddy, you're not elevating anyone's consciousness. You're just basically renting desks. And that's the reality of these really highfalutin type of greater purpose statements. But there's a better alternative. And I want to share with you what a real greater purpose statement should look like. There's a company that I work with, a client of mine, called PregnanScan. They're basically a med tech company that created a software platform to monitor to the health of pregnant women remotely, so their doctors can follow their progress on a daily basis without having to meet with them in person. Obviously very valuable, especially in these times. And so PregnanScan's founders, some of whom are medical doctors, believe that healthcare must become more focused on supporting prevention rather than providing treatment. And so PregnanScan is a telemedicine platform that contributes to this purpose, okay? This is PregnanScan's greater purpose. What's yours? What gets you out of bed in the morning? You know what gets me out of bed in the morning? Doing this. Basically helping startup founders and small business owners realize the personal satisfaction and the reward that comes from building a successful business. That is my greater purpose. What's yours? Once you've got your greater purpose down, then you can start talking about defining what your desired outcome is. Okay, and the best way to look at a desired outcome is basically it's a snapshot, okay, about your business at a certain point in the future. All right, so to do this, just follow this 4-step process, okay? Step 1, decide the moment, okay? So imagine yourself being at a specific time in the future. Now, this time in the future should be far enough in the future so you've got time to show some results, but not so far that it seems to be completely out of touch with reality. And look, if you can't decide, I recommend that you pick a point from now that's sort of 12 to 24 months in the future. I think that's a reasonable amount of time. Once you've chosen that moment in the future, okay, step 2 is to describe it in detail, okay? The more detailed you can make it, the more powerful your destination will be. And these are basically a series of statements that are written in the present tense. I mean, I am doing this, we have done this, we are doing this. So it really, really feels alive, okay? And when you're writing these statements, make sure you cover a couple of important focus areas within your business. So I'll give you some ideas. You should talk about your product, okay? So what does your product look like at that moment in time? Is it complete? Is it in development? Are you going to the next level, the next stage of development? What does your product look like? Then talk about your sales and marketing results. How much revenue have you generated? How many deals have you closed? How many clients do you have? Create a really crystal clear picture of your business from a sales and marketing perspective. Then talk about your organization, okay, about your team, your operations. How many people do you have working in the company at that moment in time? Are you sitting with a couple of partners in a small room, or are you in an office of 100 people in 6 different countries? Do you have multiple offices in multiple countries? How are you operating? It really matters what type of business you imagine, because it's going to define the road that you take to get there. Then talk about your finances. How much profit have you generated, if you have at all? How much money do you have in your bank account? Have you raised funding? If so, from who and how much? Really get a clear picture of what your financial situation is in that desired outcome. And finally, a catch-all. List what other element of your future company that's important to you that you want to define at that moment in time. Maybe you don't want to be working on Fridays. Maybe it's a 4-day-a-week company. Maybe that's what your other is. Maybe it's you want to hire at least 70% women in the organization because you believe in empowering women entrepreneurs. Whatever it is, that other is a catch-all you can put into your desired outcome. Once you've done the second step, go to step 3, which is basically to reinforce your purpose, okay? Let's not forget about your greater purpose, right? Explain where you stand vis-a-vis your greater purpose. Are you fulfilling your reasons for building your company at that moment? If so, what specific proof do you have of this? Make sure you keep your purpose in mind as a part of your desired outcome. And finally, step 4, record your emotions. And I know we're all really hardcore business people. We don't want to talk about our emotions, but let me tell you something. When you're building a business, it's the emotions that are going to fuel you through the ups and downs of building your business and keep you motivated. Sure, have your facts and figures, have your numbers, but write down how you feel about what you've achieved so far. Are you proud? How proud? Are you filled with excitement about a new deal you just closed or you're about to close? Are you excited by the range of growth possibilities ahead of you and for you and your company? Make sure you really live in the moment and describe your emotions in an authentic way, okay? So that you can almost feel them jumping off the page. If you've gone through this entire process, okay, you will have then your destination, okay? And obviously this could be quite a long document, so I'm not going to reproduce that, but I did want to give you a sense of what a destination could look like. So let's just imagine that I've created a destination for a company a little bit more than a year from now, at the end of the year, 2021, okay? I'm going to borrow, for the purposes of this exercise, the greater purpose of PregnantScan, the company that I just talked about. So we believe in prevention more than in the treatment of disease, okay? That's their greater purpose. What have they decided? Well, our MVP, our minimum viable product, is fully tested and ready to go to the market. We've generated pre-orders worth 200,000 euros from 3 different clients. We have a 20-person team based in 3 countries. We have partnerships in place with X, Y, Z that support our greater purpose. And I feel proud of how much we've achieved with such little resources. This is what a destination could look like, for instance, if you've done the exercise. Now, doing the exercise is a really great first step in building a successful business, but it's only one step. Look, you know as well as I do that launching a business is hard work. I mean, you have so many decisions to make, so many directions you can take. Am I targeting the right customers with the right message? Who should I hire to strengthen my team? How do I raise funding to fuel my growth? Just think for a moment how much easier it would be if you had a global business builder by your side to help you address these challenges. This is the opportunity I'd like to offer you today. You can tap into my 30 years of corporate and startup experience and let me be your guide through this process. I've launched and managed businesses from New York to Los Angeles, from London to Budapest. I've worked with dozens and dozens of startup founders and small business owners, helping them find their focus and accelerating their business growth. And in a short time, I'm going to extend a special opportunity for us to work together, side by side, and remove some of the obstacles that are standing between you and your dream of building a profitable business. As a first step, you have the opportunity to book a free 30-minute follow-up consultation with me, where we will review your destination plan together, okay? I'll give you detailed feedback on how you can improve this really important business tool. This is available, by the way, only to those of you who have signed up for this webinar. So you'll be receiving an email from me very soon with a special opportunity. But just click on the button that says book free consultation in the email, and after our session, I'm almost 100% certain that you will have a crystal clear destination in your hand that you can use to focus your efforts and to motivate your team to do more than they ever thought was possible. Now, as you've gone through this process of creating a destination, there's a couple of things that you should especially focus on that you make sure you do, and some things you should avoid at all costs. And I just want to run through these really quickly to make sure that you really get the best possible feedback. So let's look at the first thing you should definitely do. Do definitely remember to think big, okay? I like to say if your destination doesn't scare you a little bit, it's probably not big enough, okay? So many companies don't aim high enough, okay? And especially a lot of companies from small countries, they sort of place artificial limitations on what they can achieve. Don't fall into this trap, okay? Think globally from day one. Think of Estonia. This is a country of 2 million people. That small country has already developed 3 global unicorns: Skype, TransferWise, and Pipedrive. Why couldn't you do the same? What's stopping you? The second, make your destination a part of your everyday life. Look, if you go through the process of creating your destination, don't put it on a piece of paper that you put at the bottom of a drawer, never to be seen again, okay? Try to distill it in a few words or symbols or pictures that remind you of the facts and the feelings you've written down, okay? Write these onto a sticky note or a Post-it note and place it on your bathroom mirror or on your computer screen or your desk, wherever you're going to see it every day. The important thing is the more often you come across your destination and reminded of it, the more reality sets in, okay? And it becomes a really integral part of your life and your business. Make sure if you're part of a founding team or have a partner that you do the destination planning exercise together, okay? So whatever that desired outcome and the greater purpose is, it reflects everybody's point of view. Now, you might just realize through the process that your definitions of success are slightly different and that need to be aligned. I encourage you to do this because the earlier you align your expectations, the more likely you are to be successful. Imagine a situation where you've been working for a year with somebody and they're trying to get to Tokyo and you're trying to get to New York City and you're pulling in 2 completely different destinations or directions. No wonder things aren't going smoothly, okay? Make sure you align quickly. There's a couple of things you should avoid. The first is to choose a greater purpose, okay, which is again, why you think what you're doing is going to change the world and deliver value to others, is connected with the business you're in, okay? Look, I'm all for world peace, and striving for world peace is a nice ambition, but it's almost impossible to translate into the day-to-day running of your business. So it will always remain extremely abstract. Make sure your greater purpose is meaningful and tangible. Once you have a clear destination, make sure that the stakeholders who can either support you in this process or are along for the ride are all aware of it, okay? Don't keep it to yourself. Share it with your team, your investors, even your customers. This will not only make it seem more real, but it will boost your commitment to reaching for it. And finally, don't forget to use your destination in all of your future planning. Think about it. The destination gives you an endpoint, right? So you know where you want to go. Work back from that and create a series of goals and action plans that cover shorter periods of time, but that together will take you closer to reaching your destination, okay? This ensures that your destination is translated in whatever you do every day. Now, it's unlikely that many of you already have a destination defined, okay? But it could be that you have a mission or a vision statement that can serve as the foundation for a destination. So I thought we could now take a bit of time to read some of the mission and vision statements that those of you on this webinar who submitted them as part of your registration, and I can evaluate them and give you a bit of feedback. Hopefully it will benefit from everybody to get a sense of how you actually translate this into the actual destination. Okay, so here's 4 examples I'd like to share with you. The first is from a stock trading coach or trainer, all right? And his mission was to give freedom to people, freedom from time, boss, location, and income cap, okay? So I really like this as the basis for a greater purpose. You can feel that this organization believes that by using their service, their customers will experience the benefits that come with financial freedom. My only recommendation would be to make that concept of financial freedom more explicit and crystal clear, that connection. So the reason you'll be able to offer this freedom is because you're giving people a sense of financial freedom. And obviously, to create a desired outcome, you provide more details on the product, the revenues, the organization behind it, and then it'll become a fantastic destination. The next one is from a face exercise app, interesting idea, called Face Yoga. This is what the mission is. The mission of Face Yoga is to provide an intuitive platform that brings together professionals and users globally to enhance facial health and promote physical and mental well-being, okay? So this reads a little bit more like a value proposition rather than a mission statement. And by the way, if you're interested in the value proposition, check out my website. I've got many videos and blogs on it. And actually my next webinar scheduled for January 28th, 2021 is going to be on how to create an amazing value proposition. So write it down in your calendars. But I like the idea of promoting physical and mental well-being. Okay, that's kind of the foundation for a greater purpose. But you might want to make it a bit more specific. Okay, for who are you doing this? Is there a particular angle of health and mental well-being? I noticed on the website you talk about anti-aging. Maybe that's what you're actually promoting. As far as the desired outcome goes, you can see some elements there. So it's an intuitive platform. Okay, that's the product. You reach users globally, right? So geographically, you're already creating a desired outcome that's global. But I'd love to see more measurable details on both, as well as to adding some sales and financial outcomes that you want to achieve. The third is from a company called Aeriu. Okay, this is an inventory management software used in warehouses. Okay, and it reads, Aeriu is an inventory management software that uses commercial drones to read barcodes in large warehouses. Our vision is fully autonomous inventory control. Okay, so this contains elements of both your greater purpose and your desired outcome. In terms of greater purpose, you see it's a fully autonomous inventory control is your vision. Now, this is a B2B business, but I'd love to understand still how this fully autonomous system will change people's lives. Does this mean that you're going to be able to prevent accidents in warehouses? Are you going to be able to prolong the health and the well-being of workers in warehouses? Maybe make that a little bit more clear in your greater purpose. In terms of desired outcome, some indications are there. So inventory management software, commercial drones. So you talk about the product, the target customers, large warehouses. I'd love to see more details on both, as well as maybe adding some sales and financial outcomes that you want to achieve. And then finally, let's look at a company called Tataat, which is a health management platform that tests your biological age, okay? And it reads, this, by the way, was a one-pager, and so there was a big block of text, and I kind of grabbed the stuff that I thought was more a mission statement. It reads, together with our life extension coaches, we are here to guide health-aware people through their journey to healthy aging and a longer life, okay? So I love this mission statement as the foundation for the greater purpose. So you guide health-aware people through their journey to health, aging, and longer life, okay? Maybe the way I would put it is, we believe everyone deserves to enjoy their journey through healthy aging, okay? So make it a little bit more explicit. And to add the desired outcome, with more details on the product, the revenues, the organization behind it, it'll become a fantastic destination. So we've covered now some examples of the type of core information you have in place to create a destination. I think if you were to sign up for this free follow-up consultation with me to discuss your destination, I'm certain you're going to leave that session with some real tangible benefits. But you know what? I can really do even more to help you experience that personal satisfaction, those benefits that come with launching a successful business by simply becoming your personal mentor. Now, as your mentor, I can help you find solutions to your biggest challenges. I can really guide you down that path towards reaching your goals and giving you clarity and comfort in knowing that what steps you need to take next. I've had the pleasure of mentoring more than 100 startup founders and small business owners over the years, many at a very early stage of their development, and others are a little bit more advanced and are ready to scale. I'm confident I've probably seen every challenge you can imagine. I've helped my clients try to find practical solutions to these difficult questions. Some of the questions I'll help you answer. How do we attract more inbound interest from our marketing efforts? Our sales discussions are taking too long, a very typical problem. How do you close more deals? Just last week, I was working with the co-founder of a major business-to-business marketing platform who had been negotiating with a major Italian clothing company for over a year. We evaluated the situation, we created an action plan, and literally in 2 days, I got an email from him saying they signed the deal that had been dragging on for a full year. Typical question, we need to raise money. How do we attract investors? Other questions, our business is expanding. How do I build a team to support our growth? If you're in a scaling level where you're ready to go international, what's the right strategy for that? All of these very, very critical questions if you're building a business. And a very typical one, I'm overwhelmed by work. How do I decide where to focus my effort? Very common problem among startup founders and small business owners. I'm actually working with the founder CEO of a programming firm and that really faced this issue. And since we've been working together, he says he's got this really eerie sense of calm. And he told me this story just the other day. He said he left work and came home at 6 o'clock one night last week. And his wife asked him what was wrong. And he just told her, all of a sudden, I have so much more time on my hands. So, you know, it's really a sense of just clarity, of comfort, of knowing that the business is heading in the right direction. It's going to get you home and your family will enjoy this as much as you. So I don't know if any of these questions sound familiar to you, but if they do, I'm here to help. How does this work? Well, if you were to sign up for personal mentoring with me, basically 3 steps. We'll start by identifying your key challenges. You know, what I've learned is that sometimes your biggest problem isn't actually what you think it is. It's on focusing on, you know, we focus on the right things and fixing the right things to achieve the greatest impact. We'll set clear and measurable targets that will help us stay focused and stay on track in our progress together. And you know what, we're going to focus on your biggest problems one by one. I think the most effective way to do this is not to try to do everything at once, but and not getting lost in the shuffle. It's really focusing things one at a time. So if we were to work together, we would schedule each session well in advance so both of us could prepare in advance of our discussion. After each session, I will actually provide you with a short summary of the key decisions we came to and the next steps you need to take so you're absolutely clear on what to do next. And we regularly review goals that we set at the start to make sure that we can track your progress. Now, you're probably wondering at this stage how much it costs to get this level of personal mentoring. Look, to work with me one-on-one, startup founders and small business owners normally pay thousands of euros each month over many months. I tend to work with entrepreneurs over a 3 to 6 month period, and there's a price that goes with it. But look, I also understand that not everyone can make a long-term commitment and everybody can pay a premium price. So I want to make the personal mentoring available to you for a fraction of this price because I'm absolutely convinced that you will benefit from it. So based on my standard rate, a package of 3 one-hour-long personal mentoring sessions with me will cost 599 euros, okay? And they need to be used over a period of 1 month. This is what, you know, normally I would charge, but you're not going to pay the normal price. Today, I'm going to be offering a special exclusive webinar-only offer of 3 one-hour sessions, personal mentoring one-on-one with you, held over a period of 3 months for just 399 euros. I call this my triple impact mentoring package, and it represents a 33% discount compared to my normal rates. Now, you might be asking yourself, what can you possibly accomplish in just 3 one-hour-long sessions? Well, here's the deal. My experience says you can do a lot. And just by reframing the problem and putting it into a different perspective can free up a bunch of solutions you never thought were possible. Earlier this month, I was mentoring the founder of a sweets delivery business. And their problem was they were not getting enough inbound interest from their customers. And we looked at the situation and realized that he was communicating his offer to customers in a really rational way, when in fact, people ordered premium cakes and champagne for emotional reasons, all right? So just by changing his point of view, we were able to restructure his communication, his website, his positioning, and he saw an immediate uplift in his sales. And guess what? We achieved this breakthrough in 1 single 1-hour session. So we can use these 3 sessions to address whatever happens to be your biggest challenge. Now, the fact is, this is a really unique offer, and I'm really only making it available to a limited number of people because frankly, I can't afford to give away my services at this rate for too many people. So basically, I'm making this available for 10 people or 10 teams who sign up for this package. So if you're interested, please take action today and sign up for the free consultation. So how do you take advantage? 3 steps. Basically, you book the free 30-minute consultation, okay, by Sunday, November 29th. That's this coming Sunday, all right? Now, I want to warn you, last time I had a similar setup, the available slots were filled about an hour after the webinar was completed. So if you're interested in this offer of a free 30-minute consultation, please take action as quickly as possible. You can book this session by clicking on the link in the Zoom chat. Okay, so you're going to see there's a link there to a Calendly link. All right, and you'll find the Calendly link in the email that you'll be getting tomorrow. So whichever is more convenient to you. But again, I would encourage you to take action immediately if it's something you're interested in. If you click on that link, you're going to come across a page like this. Basically, you choose a time that suits you, and you'll be taken to a second page that looks like this. Please remember to put the word webinar into the space mark. Please share anything that will help prepare for our meeting, because that will guarantee that you'll get this special offer for a follow-up consultation at the rates that I've described. Once you've booked the free consultation, you show up for the consultation at the scheduled time. Obviously, I've reserved that time for you, so I would be appreciative if you showed up for that. And if after the session, you're satisfied with our discussion and you want to appoint me as your personal mentor, you simply sign up for the Triple Impact Mentoring Package I've just described. I'll give you all the details of how to pay via bank transfer. On all that's left for us afterwards is to start working together to solve your biggest problems and helping you experience the benefits of that clarity and comfort I've talked about before. And just to make it 100% clear for you, I want to share with you my personal guarantee. If after the free follow-up consultation to discuss your destination plan, you decide you don't want to commit to further personal mentoring, you are under absolutely no obligation to sign up for any other sessions, no questions asked, okay? So that's my personal guarantee to you. So as we start to wrap up here, I do want to check in the chat if there are any questions. I see there's a couple things that have come up, so let me just see. So Hans is saying, how is your destination different from mission and vision? Okay, well, this is a good question. We've all heard terms like vision and mission and values, right? These are completely valid, but let's be honest, these type of terms have become part of corporate speak, right? They're kind of long-winded, lofty messages that sort of live on boardroom walls and have nothing to do with what goes on in real life at a company. I think a destination is different because it creates a set of parameters for your business that define what success looks like for you, all right? So it covers the focus areas like the product, the sales, the organization. They can be translated into the day-to-day running of your company and be shared with your partners and team to help keep everybody on track and motivated. So a destination is really a kind of a mission and vision tool that works. Here's another question. How can I put my destination to action? Okay, from Robert. So Robert, what I would recommend is you use your destination as the endpoint for all of your future planning, right? So what I would recommend is once you've created the destination, then you create a set of 3 or 5 goals that lead you towards your destination. You focus on a maximum of 3 actions at a time, and so you don't spread yourself thin. As you make progress, you tick those boxes and you take another 3 actions and so on until you've achieved your goals. Here's a question I get oftentimes from Milan. If the purpose of a business is to generate a profit, then isn't it enough if your greater purpose is just to get rich? Well, of course. Look, getting rich may be a benefit or an outcome of building a successful business, but it certainly isn't the right reason to launch a business. Let me tell you, there are a lot easier ways to earn a steady income and build wealth. I believe that the motivational value of money decreases over time. So unless you have a greater purpose that delivers value to others and not just to yourself, you're just going to run out of motivation before you even get to the finish line. So here's a question. How can I find my product to work with besides how to choose? So I'm not sure I understand the question. That's from Attila. How can I find my product to work with besides how to choose? Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't understand the question, but he's going to come back to me in a moment. So let's see, there's another question from Sylvia. How often should you revisit your destination? Okay, very good question, Sylvia. So your destination, as I've explained, should be front and center, as I've described earlier. So it should be part of your day-to-day existence. I recommend you revisit it once a quarter to make sure it still feels right. And if it doesn't, don't be afraid to make adjustments. Just be careful that you're adjusting it because your business has evolved in a different way than you expected, and not because you've given up on reaching your desired outcome because it's too hard, okay? Stick with it and eventually you'll get there. So I think we've kind of run out of questions, and also I see we kind of run out of time. So I want to thank all of you for, okay, sorry, there was one more question here. So now, how to choose from more than one nice opportunity direction when you have, okay, so yeah, thank you, Andras, for clarifying that. So how to choose from more than one nice opportunity direction when you have multiple ones. So look, obviously, as you're building your business, you are going through this process of selection, right? And I think that the best way to choose which direction you take is going to be is going to be part research, right? So you've got to have some sense of what the market is demanding. And the other is going to be where your skills and your experience and your focus lies, right? And you're going to have to choose some reasonable opportunities or options. And I believe very much that if you can reduce your options in terms of which market to produce, let's say to 3, then that's enough for you to maybe test all 3 of those simultaneously and to see where you get a little bit more traction, and then to continue to build along those lines. There's no easy formula for this, right? It's a trial and error, and that's part of the the demands of building a business, but also the fun part of building a business. The rules aren't written, so you get to create those from different options that you've created for yourself. Okay. All right. So thank you very much, Andras. I see you've signed up for next Tuesday. That's fantastic. And Attila is asking, so how can I decide what to work with? Again, I'm not sure what I understand what to work with means, but Attila, perhaps you can contact me after the webinar or even set up a personal meeting and we can discuss it later. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, for your continued interest. And I will look forward to having as many of you sign up as possible for the next 30-minute free consultation. In closing, I just want to say that I hope you found this destination planning exercise useful and that it really will help you identify the business you want to build and the actions you want to take. I also hope, sincerely, it's given you one more reason to stand by your dream of creating a new business and that you will stick with it and long enough to experience the personal benefits and the rewards of creating something for nothing. I truly believe there's nothing greater than building a business. And I hope to meet many of you over the coming week or so in these 30-minute consultations. And I look forward to helping you and your business blast off. Have a wonderful day, everyone.